Welcome to Bad Movies Among Us. I've got a very special treat for you today, as we've got Jeff Casey and Marc Jackson. Those would be our proverbial space aliens from Voyage of the Rock Aliens.
Yes, they played AU and FG.
So if you guys would go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Marc Jackson, and I played AU.
And I'm Jeffrey Casey, and I played FG.
And we're happy to be here.
I don't know if played. I don't know if played.
Yes.
So we are super happy to be here with you guys. It's really exciting to be able to talk to a couple of the rock aliens and find out what's going on. Most exciting, of course, of all, is that you guys have actually reformed the band that you used to be in. Rhema has come back together.
Right. Two of us did. I think when Jeff and I started talking again, we were both actively, creatively writing music in our own right. And then we started just chatting about, writing together, and we thought, oh, well, let's call it something. Let's give it a project name or whatever. And we came up with one, and then we started talking and going, well, we could come from total obscurity with this new name, or we could sort of ride the wave of the 10 or 12 fans that the movie has. So we thought we would just sort of reappropriate the name or repurpose the name, and started out writing kind of like how Rhema might write now with today's technology, and kind of what our musical ideas are and stuff. And so that's how we came back.
And, we're really excited to see that. Because first time when we saw Voyage of the Rock Aliens, that's the first thing that comes up on that title, that title role is Rhema, It just comes up really big, right up on the screen. And it's the first thing you see. So you just instantly wonder what is up with this band. And you find very little when you research them. So to find you guys had gotten back together and are producing music was excellent. Listening to some of that music was a lot of fun as well, because you can definitely hear those early styles in there, as well as some more modern adaptation. And I think it's just great.
It has just about everything I like from the 80s.
Right.
Cool.
So we were wondering, where can we find you nowadays? If people were looking to find you, if they wanted to get some music from you, where could they find you?
All the streaming platforms have it. iTunes has it. If you are, there are a lot of Rhemas in the world, in the Rhemaverse, and
yes, there are.
They
in the Rhemaverse,
and there's a lot of like Christian acts. There's one called Rhema Soul, which is like a hip hop R&B Christian band, and then there's another Christian band that's a screamo band. So sometimes if you ask for Rhema, you'll hear something on your smart speaker. So the way
you
to
shouldn't scream at Jesus.
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't scream at Jesus.
We're scream about him, I guess. But the scream from him. No, if you do the smart speaker, you could say, if you say it this way, if you say, Alexa, play the album Shine by Rhema, it'll come up correctly. So that's how
my Alexa is about to play it, by the way.
And
my
and
Alexa,
of course,
she started it, by the way.
Nice.
I'm screaming at Alexa. I'm a screaming Alexa band. Okay, we're good.
Christ. And we will have
Jesus Christ, look, Jesus Christ.
We will, of course, have links to Rhema songs that you guys can get off of our Twitter and off of our Facebook page, so that if you need a little assistance in finding the band, you can find the proper Rhema.
Yep.
Because, I think that's what everybody's really looking for here. All right, so we had already asked you, but we'll go ahead and ask you again for the interview. Do you guys have any merch currently?
We had Rhema shirts made up, but we ran out of them. So currently, no.
It's literally just what we were about to say. We want shirts.
Right.
We wear them if we have them.
Right.
I'd like to show some Rhema merch if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
So these
oh my gosh.
These are Rhema, custom-made Rhema shoes.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
In the industry, you wear shoeless tennis shoe. There's no tennis shoes, shoestrings. So these are custom made. You see Rhema there on the spine. So there's one thing.
Wow. They look great too.
Yeah, they do, aren't they? And by the way, if you'll notice, it's purple, which was our colors, and black, like the black stripes on our hair. And here we go.
Cool.
There we go.
Right.
Oh, nice.
Cool.
That's awesome.
If you guys ever do start producing shirts again, please let us know. We're very interested ourselves in some
we'll
Rhema
order
shirts.
some.
We think the colorings, the style, the letterings. It's a really, be really
The
fun.
Rhema mask.
Just to stay with COVID, I have a Rhema mask. So we do have merch. We just aren't selling it at this point, at this time.
Okay.
All right.
But if there's a demand, we'll do it.
We'll keep any and all of our fans updated as far as Rhema merch goes, because again, really fun merchandising.
Yeah, it's very fun.
So we were really curious about Rhema's early days. Can you guys tell us a little bit about the early days of Rhema and how you guys ended up forming as a band?
Part of it is there are two beginnings of Rhema. One of them was the Rhema that I started when I was in high school with my friend, and we started doing gospel music, which is where the name came from initially. So we were really influenced by that. Jeff at the time was in another Christian band called Revelation, and so we were sort of homologously playing around what they call the coffee house circuit for Christian bands back in that time. But I didn't really know Jeff. But the more interesting probably part of the story is how we got going and becoming the kind of the techno 80s band that we were. And that came about later when the band had sort of I left the band for a little while, for about 8 months, and when I came back there were 3 members left, and Jeff wasn't there yet. I was corrected on this, but it was just Pat Burns, Greg Bond, and Craig Kite. And
so Pat Burns played Stovitz in the film,
right?
Craig Kite played Nopqueer, the red-haired dude, and then Greg Bond was
Greg Bond,
Jacqueline. No, right? Jacqueline.
No,
Jacqueline
or Nopqueer. One of them was Jacqueline, and one of them was queer.
Craig.
He's looking it up. Alan's looking it up. We should remember, but it was
when we first watched it. Greg Bond's character was his favorite alien.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep, Jacqueline. Yeah.
He played. Who played? Greg Bond played Jacqueline.
Yeah. Jacqueline. I enjoyed several of. So we all agreed that you guys.
The aliens were some of our favorite parts of the movie.
Right.
That was in none of the critiques we read.
Everything else was the aliens for us.
Right. The physicality of you guys was just amazing. We talked at length about the idea of whether having one of the aliens actually lead all of the aliens as opposed to Tom Nolan. Nohea was on the side of keeping Tom Nolan because he had mentioned several different points where you can kind of see Tom Nolan do a couple things and you guys kind of follow along with him. And it just kind of forms a synchronicity with the whole group of aliens. The physical acting, you instantly feel that these people are not from this world, which I mean is the intention.
Yeah.
And it just feel that way. Since you brought that up, I know you got questions, but before I forget, a lot of the physicality of that film, I think Marc would agree that we have to give the nod to the director, who, by the way, was a seasoned director, and to be working with knobs like us was beneath him. In terms of the stuff he had done, but he let the band basically develop the characters, and all that physicality was just stuff that we brought to the characters, and Tom sort of followed our lead. That was all stuff that the band created based on, especially Craig and I had worked with the disabled, and we had some people we'd worked with who were real characters, and we infused some of their physicality into some of that stuff you saw. So that's because of James Fargo letting us, with no experience as actors, develop the characters.
Yeah.
We definitely heard about that with the song Combine Man. You said that was really just a compilation of different things that Eugene had said.
Eugene.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, which is so neat. And the 3-step dance was a thing.
The 3-step dance is awesome.
Right.
That's another thing.
I know. I caught it the first time, and then when Marc explained what that was, I was like, "Oh, I love this."
Yep,
that was something that Eugene would do. Jeff, you worked with Eugene as well, right? You worked with him, and so did Craig.
I knew Eugene, red haired. I knew him. Yeah.
So we've talked about your early days, and now if anybody's listened to the podcast, then they'll probably know that you worked with a bassist early on named Huron Klaus, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Right? Marc, that is. So I looked a little bit into Huron Klaus, and I was just wondering, do you know if that happens to be the same Huron Klaus who is now president, CEO of Chief Ministries down in Arizona?
Yeah, that's him.
Oh,
that's
how
him.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's so awesome to see him doing great. It's been
we were best friends in high school, and that's how the band got started. He played bass and I played guitar and sang and stuff. So that's where it started. But like I say, like by the time it got to be where we were on track to do the stuff for the movie, he was well out of the picture. And as were most of those. Bobby Freeman was our bass player when we were the Rhema that we became for the movie. So yeah,
that predates me so much that when you mentioned Huron, I knew him, but I was going, Huron played bass? He did? I didn't know that.
How funny.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, most people know the bassist for Rhema as Bobby Freeman. He's definitely the name that comes up. We've heard lots of great things about him. Can you tell us what it was like getting to work with Bobby Freeman before the actual movie?
Well, Bobby, when I was asked to join Rhema, I guess Huron had left, or Marc would know. I guess
long time
going to replace Huron on bass, and I was doing a 6-night-a-week club thing with Bob, and I asked Bob to come and meet the band, and that's sort of how Bobby got involved. You notice Bobby wasn't in the film, which shows our inexperience, but that was unfortunate. He would have been probably better than some of us, actually. He was quite a big personality.
I had made mention that he should have played the robot that is with you guys at all times.
Or at least during the opening sequence, it would have been nice to have him at least be the actor inside of the robot outfit, just to have the band together,
Yeah.
Great idea. That's a great idea, actually.
Yeah.
But we did want to say that even though Bobby isn't in the movie, we do know that he led a lot of the early styles of Rhema and was a big contributing factor to how you guys sound and the sound that we actually do here in the movie. So we do feel like that he is spiritually a part of the band during the movie as well.
Good. So do
we wanted, it was nice reading about everybody and catching up with everybody. And we wanted to find out everything we could about Bobby Freeman as well. Everything we have read is just Bobby Freeman was an outstanding person to work with. He was easy to work with. He was easy to collaborate with. And he was a good bassist, And he was
the only Jew in the band amongst a bunch of Gentiles.
Oh my God, that makes me love him even more.
And that elevated it. Yeah.
Right, that makes me love him even more. Right, that's what it is.
As it should.
Right. Okay, so we've read that Pia Sedora, and I think I might have even read this out of an interview with one of you, but we've read that Pia Sedora and Dick Whitehouse actually took a Learjet to come and watch you guys perform live at your one big venue at the phone company prior to the actual filming of the movie. Were you guys aware that they were coming there to scout you out?
You can answer that, Jeff. I have no idea.
This sounds like Craig inside information they've been reading, because who would know that?
I didn't know that.
I don't know that Pia Sedora ever showed up. Honestly, I know that initially, I think Dick Whitehouse from the label came and saw us play, and then that was the night he took us aside and said we're the greatest band he's ever heard. And now that I've been in the industry a long time, I realize that's very common for people to say that to almost any band that they're trying to get to sign a bad deal. And then I know that we did another showcase, and I know the movie people came, but my recollection was it was James Fargo, the director, maybe Max Keller from Interplanetary Productions, and maybe Dick Whitehouse. I don't recall or believe Pia Sedora ever was involved in that.
Absolutely. It's one of those things where researching those early days can be a little bit difficult. We actually found two different things that said that Pia did go to that, but there's nothing really to prove that she went. Right. So we really weren't sure exactly what the situation was there.
We never met her prior to arriving on set, and barely met her then. So I don't think she came to Phoenix to see us.
When did your guys' sound start to change? Once you started to form back together, what was the big influences that led to this new sound that we have right here?
Oh, wow. So from the time we were Rhema, the movie band, to the time we broke up and became a duo, because Marc and I went on as a duo after the band broke up.
Oh, did you?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what was the duo called?
Heart of One.
Heart of One? Yeah, Heart of One.
Okay. Cool. We actually weren't aware of that.
We'll look into that.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Okay, that's even more fun stuff for us to check out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we broke off from the band, and Marc and I started writing pop R&B, which was really back to the roots of more of our first loves, Earth, Wind and Fire, but we were being influenced by Babyface and L.A. Reid and the pop hip hop thing that was going on, and so we became a duo, and we started writing and producing that kind of stuff. And then after Marc and I took a break from one another for an extended period of time, we kind of I went into country music, and Marc went into he can tell you, but Marc's had his hands in so much, it's kind of astounding.
Yeah, I mean,
we looked into that a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We were influenced by bands like Go West and You know, some of these 80s bands that had kind of an R&B